Hello everyone, I'm Yuxia Zhang, a PhD student from Peking University. It's a great honor for me to present our paper, Companies' Participation in Open Source Software Development, an empirical study of OpenStack. The first open source communities were made up almost of volunteers. They motivated by interest, skills, or reputation, and contributed to the project on their own. Over the last decades, open source software has grown quickly. Because of the advantage of open source, like innovation, more and more companies are attracted to join. The increasing commercial participation might bring change to open source software projects. Because of the huge difference between volunteers and the paid developers. In the motivation aspect, most volunteers are interest-driven, while companies care more about profits. In the practice aspect, volunteers are free to choose what they want to do, but the paid developers are aim-driven. In a worse situation, these differences may lead to the departure of volunteers. So it's necessary to have a clear understanding of the development of open source with intensive commercial participation. Our research goal is divided into several research questions. We start from measuring the degree of commercial contributions. To what do companies contribute to the development of OpenStack in comparison to volunteers? Volunteer participation is highly uneven in open source. So are contributions distributed uneven among companies as well? Can the unique circumstance of each contributing company be grouped into a small number of interpretable contribution models? If so, what are these models, and do they vary in terms of contribution performance? And we know that high diversity is associated with healthy ecosystems. So would the diversity of companies be associated with the health of projects? In terms of volunteer participation, we selected OpenStack as study case because it is active, mature, and involves many different types of companies. We collected and cleaned the commits data for further analysis, including cleaning both multiplicated identities and identifying developers' affiliations. We found commercial objectives always drive companies' actions when they participated in open source. So we use the objectives to classify companies. We qualitatively obtained the categories of companies' objectives. And we proposed 3 metrics to characterize the contribution performance of the companies under each categories. After calculating the number of developers and commits from companies and volunteers respectively each version, we found that companies contributed approximately 90% of commits and 80% of developers, playing a critical role in the development of OpenStack. And we further calculated the fraction of companies that are together responsible for 80% of contributions and borrowed the Gini coefficient to observe an uneven distribution of companies' contributions. The results show that the distribution of contributions from different companies in OpenStack is highly unbalanced, and the concentration of contribution increased over time. After analyzing the records about companies' objective towards OpenStack, we obtained 8 categories: full solution-oriented and specific sub-solution-oriented, self-business, specific service, usage-oriented, community-oriented, the developed infrastructure-oriented, and research-oriented. We calculated the performance of the 8 contribution models based on the 3 metrics we proposed, and we found companies providing full solutions for closed solutions make intensive and extensive contributions. The companies that contributed to specific projects are either motivated by the specific business goals or infrastructure vendors. overall, the ad models are unique. We investigated the relationship between the diversity of companies and volunteer participation by building a linear regression model, and the result shows a significant positive association. In summary, our study had rich implications. First, our study contributes to understanding how different companies contribute to different projects and collaborate with each other in open source ecosystems. Although the max value of our study is bridging the knowledge gap, it also has more practical insights. For example, the ad contributing models can be used as a reference for helping companies to define their own open source software strategies. Yeah, my presentation is finished. Thank you all for listening.